Hello, welcome to Hypnosis with Dr. Bill Stiles. And I'm Dr. Bill Stiles, and I have with me my sidekick. She's been with me for about 6 shows now, and that's Stacy Folt, and she is the master degreed educator with an abiding interest in mind programming. And I've decided that Stacy is going to interview one of my clients, and Tony is here, and Tony Fontana, or do you like to be called Anthony?
Tony.
Oh,
No,
Tony.
Tony's
That's
fine.
what I thought. Okay, so Tony's lost some weight, and all of you folks that want to lose some weight, and I think that's 80% of the American public, you listen up now. Now, Stace, maybe you want to say hello to the people here so they get used to you again.
Yes, I'd like to say hello to everybody that has been that have been following along with our program, and I'm delighted to be here with all of you again. And I'd like to go ahead and congratulate Tony on his weight loss success. And
Thank
I
you.
was wondering if you could just tell us, how much did you actually lose on Dr. Stiles' program?
Well, when I went to see Dr. Stiles, I weighed 341 pounds, and I went down to 248 pounds after the sessions.
Oh, that is
And
amazing.
it was, I guess that's what, 92 pounds or 93 pounds, something
Yes.
like that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And it was the only thing that's ever worked.
Is that right?
In truthfulness, I've tried, and if my wife was here, she might have been the better one to have here to interview because she's lived with me in that state.
Yeah, she's better looking,
And
too.
she's better looking. That's right, Dr. Stiles. She absolutely is. That is truly the better half of this
The
organization.
better half, right.
Of this union, anyway. She lived with me through everything, every pill, every fad, every
Every disappointment?
every disappointment. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you don't go on some fit, fair, fat thing, and you take the pills and you lose some weight. I did.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the minute you stop taking it, the minute you feel you reach your goal, all of a sudden you were back at that weight, and then another 20 pounds, and that's how I ended up all the way up to the 341. Is
That's
because
right.
I would, lose 20 or 30 pounds, and I'd put that 20, 30 pounds back on, plus another 10 or 20 on top of that, and and I thought, my thought at that time was purely and simply, I'll lose the weight when I take my first heart attack. That was my thought.
Really?
That
You were
was my
waiting
thought.
for the desperate moment.
Desperate moment. I figured right
Yeah.
at that point in my life, I had no shot at it after everything I had tried until I had this horrible incident that could have been life-threatening occur, and then maybe that would be the wake-up call that would make me drop the weight and keep it off. But then I ran into Dr. Stiles.
Well, once you did go ahead and come in for the program, how long did it take you to lose that weight?
Well, I think that was June 2005, and I was down 80 pounds by that Christmas, I believe. 75 or 80 pounds by that Christmas.
That's 6 months.
Yeah, and or maybe when the last time I saw you, which may have been a little more than that, 6 to 8 months. Took me to lose that 80 pounds, and then the last part came off a little slower after
Yeah,
that.
right.
Right.
And went all the way down. As I said, to 248 pounds. And I've been maintaining a weight loss. It's a lifestyle, but it's a lifestyle that I could not commit to for whatever reason. Now I can't undo it. I guess if that's a proper way to put it.
Now that you've had the programming, then you feel that it's definitely something that's become a part of your daily life.
Yeah, whatever part of me that Dr. Stiles talked to still talks to me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. I still don't realize, though, why I wake up in the middle of the night looking at the washing machine. That must have been something my wife told me. Is that what it was?
Yeah, she asked me to program that you would do the laundry
Is that what it was?
in the middle of the night, so she doesn't have to wake up. Hey, folks, we're just kidding.
Yeah.
I can't do that to people.
No,
I
that's right.
I thank you for your humor in this serious discussion there.
Tony, did you feel the program was hard to do?
Good question.
No, I didn't think it was hard to do. I think what you need to realize, what people need to realize, is you're more in control of yourself than you give yourself credit for, and sometimes you need different triggers to recognize that. And no matter what I would say to myself, nothing ever sunk in until sitting with Dr. Stiles and Well, you want to talk? I was a skeptical person. I mean, you having my wife here with the things, sitting in your outer office in the waiting area, and going through that material. I'm going, oh man, what is this? Just get ready for the video, and
I do put people through quite a bit, don't I?
Yes, you do. But she said, and she finally looked at me and she says, you know what? You're being completely and totally ridiculous and unreasonable. She says, if you're not going to do this, if you're going to be a child, then just walk out of here. And I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to be a child. So I walked in, I met Dr. Stiles, and when I saw you sitting there and talked to you, and then you said to me, hey, look at this. I'm looking at all that representation of fat that you had.
Oh, you better explain to him what that is.
That's those.
What a visual, isn't it?
Oh,
Didn't it just smack you in the face?
Boy, it just does, because you don't see it. You think the weight on your body is, what you can pinch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize that all that is suffocating your major organs.
That's right.
It's just suffocating your heart, your liver, your everywhere.
Yeah, folks, I got to tell you, I have a 65-pound stack of fat in my office. That's what they're talking about.
Yes, that's true. It's yellow, and it has these little red lines going through it.
For the blood.
And he picks up one and says, "Here, hold this," and you're like. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that, along with what that does to your body and how you present that in the subconscious mind, or implant that in the subconscious mind, maybe if that's a proper word, really triggered it for me. And I realized that every time I would sit there, every heartbeat that I had was killing myself.
Yeah.
That's true. It was just a pressure on your body that you just didn't need to have.
That's absolutely correct, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I understand you went to a graduation party right after seeing Dr. Stiles.
That day.
That's that very same day.
That very same day.
Now, that had to have been difficult because the spreads that are at these parties are so tempting. Did the hypnotic suggestions hold right away for you, or was that a real test to what you had already been through that day?
It was a testament to what I had been through.
It was a
the last-
testament. Oh, that was very good.
Because I come from an Italian background. I know the folks don't know that, but if you look at me, you couldn't tell. I missed that otherwise. And, as coming from an Italian heritage and background, pasta is our life. And,
That's right.
And I went to a graduation party for my brother-in-law, my wife's twin brother's daughter, who they're an Italian family as well. So you can imagine what that spread looked like from an Italian perspective. But as I walked through the line, I found myself not being able to pick up the spoons or the spatulas for anything other than the salads and the vegetables and the fruits. And I think that's about it. I don't think there was anything else there. Oh, some chicken. There was some chicken there. And I found myself, and when I got to the rigatonis, which is like been the lifeblood for me, I couldn't even bring myself to
that's wonderful.
Put a spoonful onto the plate that I had in my hand.
That is really an impressive testimony, like you said.
Yeah, no one was more impressed than myself, because I'm sitting there going, what's wrong with this picture?
That's Italian. Where's the pasta?
That's right. That's exactly right. I should have a plate stacked, heaping plate stacked to the gills with rigatoni here and meatballs and meat sauce and
I've got a salad.
And I've got a salad. And I'm happy.
Stacy, you said that one time that you get hungry and you start to think of a huge salad. Do you remember that?
That's right. Once you retrain your mind and your subconscious mind as to what is good for it and what's good for your body, you see food in a totally different way. It even tastes different.
Yeah.
The things that used to satisfy you so much, all those things that weren't good for you but felt so satisfying, you eat them and it's just in your mouth, it's something that's already rebelling before you even swallow it. And you get pulled towards the healthy foods once you've been with Dr. Stiles. It's an amazing process.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I was just wondering if Tony could tell the listeners about what went on in Dr. Stiles' office.
Oh, okay.
Once he got in there.
Like they'd never been there.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you walk in through this door, and there's Dr. Stiles warmly greeting you, and you look around it's like walking into another world, because you have all these little collections of yours and pictures on the wall, and Dr. Stiles starts just very, 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 in a very, very friendly way, talking to you about being there and what his he is and who he is and what's going to happen. And then you wonder about certain things. Like the first thing I wondered about was all the fat, the 65 pounds of yellow goo that sat on that table, which he explained later. And then he starts talking about the fat and the other things associated with it, and how that the difference between the conscious and the subconscious part of the brain, and the alpha state of hypnotist or hypnotic state that he addresses, and that's what he's going to specifically talk to. And then he puts that 5 pounds of fat in your hand, and he says, "This is what's on your body." And he says, "Did you realize that it takes 2,000 miles of capillary to support 1 pound of fat?" And
I love the fact that you're coming up with the information that he gave you in the outer office.
Right.
That is the educational programming
Right.
that people don't get when they go somewhere else.
Right.
That's the beginning of the full session. It's not just what goes on with Dr. Stiles. It's the pre-program beforehand to let you know what it is you're actually doing to your body. I love the way it stuck with you.
No, I did. That stuck. That was the one thing that continually sticks in my mind to this day, is that for every pound of fat I have to make my heart work that much harder to support it, just to keep it alive, for no other reason than just to sit there and exist. And then the other thought that keeps running through my mind is, you change your lifestyle, and I can't say that I've been perfect, because there's been times when temptation has weakened me, especially the holidays.
Oh yes.
But it's once you realize that you've sinned, so to speak, your mind starts to take back over again, and you say, well, you can't do that anymore. And you get right back to it, and the weight, if you put any weight on, it comes right back off again.
Oh, that's good.
But that representation just stuck in my mind, and the other thing that always stuck in my mind, even when as I called it sinned, would be that you're eating this and you're going to wear it. You're eating this and you're going to wear it. And that always comes into my mind even to this day.
Yeah, and that's a phrase. One of the suggestions I use, I tell people to visualize food in two ways. There's a whole group of foods out there: fat, sugars, carbohydrates, and starches. And I want you to visualize that and think, eat it, wear it, eat it, wear it. And Tony, this stuff that's stuck in your mind all this time is just absolutely amazing.
It's what, 3
how
years
it's not
now?
left you. It's been
2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
2 years, yeah. But then I do also have people looking at good vegetables, fruits, whole grain breads, and cereals, and all of that, and they need to think, eat more, weigh less. Now, Tony, I want to get back to you, but I want to hear from somebody else here. I want to hear from George, so that the people out there don't think you're the only guy that has lost weight. Generally, I have 80% of the people I see are women. And I don't know if they just come in more for vanity or what, but I also now, 20% of the folks I have come in for weight loss, I also see a lot of guys. So let's just listen to George.
Let's go to George.
Hi,
Hello,
Dr.
George.
Hey, Dr. Stiles. This is George from Uniontown. I want you to know that I am so pleased. I came to you on December 20th for a weight loss program. I have lost 14 pounds.
Wow, George.
I went through Christmas and New Year's. I did not eat chocolate. I passed on all the cookies, all the cakes. I can't believe it. You are phenomenal. I am so impressed.
George, thank you. Joe's looking at me with wide eyes here. Well, it's absolutely wonderful to hear from you. I believe you called my office manager, Pat, and gave her some information on that, and she passed it on, but at the time, she didn't tell me you lost 14 pounds over the holiday.
Well, I heard you on the air tonight, and I thought I had to call in. I just left a restaurant where I had some salad and a few other things, but I passed on desserts for 2.5 weeks now. I am so impressed, and so is my family.
Well, great, George. Has it been difficult, or do you find you're following the guidance of your own mind?
I'm following the guidance of my mind. I'm so relaxed anymore that's unbelievable.
Well, George, it's great hearing from you. Anything else you want to tell the people out there?
No, but those that have not come to see you, they should call immediately. And I'll be talking to you in a couple weeks.
Great. I look forward to hearing from you, George.
Thanks, Dr. Stiles.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, okay. We're sitting here chatting now. We've been talking to Tony about several things. And Stacy, did you have some questions here that you wanted to give Tony? I have one, but you go ahead.
Well, I had a follow-up question going along with what we were saying before that little testimony there. When you were actually in the hypnosis session, how did you feel? Did you feel like you were in a trance? Did you feel
good one.
strange?
I would say that the process of sitting there when you sit down in a very, very comfortable chair, and you look at the spinning wheel, and then the thing, and the room starts to distort on you.
What? What?
When you look from there to the picture in the wall, the picture starts to do.
I know what you're saying, but those people out there are thinking the whole room's distorted.
Well, it does.
Okay.
It kind of does.
Okay, I got to explain it. It's a wheel is a spiral, and I use that to attract attention. And then I ask you to look away to see the effect it has on your eye. Okay, go ahead.
Right, that's right. And then you look at that and you go, okay, and then all of a sudden it's like you end up in an unbelievably relaxed state.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a relaxed state then. You're not actually falling asleep or losing control or anything like that.
No, you're not losing control. You're not out of control. I liken it to this. Sometimes when people dream, you're asleep and you're dreaming, yet with your eyes closed, you can actually see the whole room around you. Mm-hmm. And you're like, you're sensorily aware of the room around you and your surroundings, but you're asleep. You're like somewhere else. You're relaxed.
But you're hearing everything that's going on.
You're hearing everything that's going on. You're listening to what's going on. And I don't know if the hypnotic state or the time or the relaxed feeling actually lets you sleep or not. I'm not sure. But you don't feel like you're just out of control, or if you've gone someplace else, or you're being overly influenced in any way. It just puts you in a state of mind that you're a receiver. You're very receptive to what's going on.
How did you come about finding Dr. Stiles?
Well, that's interesting. I mentioned to you early on that I tried so many things and they had all worked, and I had kind of resigned myself to this tragedy that may have come to my life until one day we were having a backyard barbecue, and my brother-in-law came over. And him and I are very, very like-minded individuals, kind of that male vanity, stubbornness kind of thing, very, very competitive business-wise. And here he comes out and he says, I quit smoking. And I know that he had been a 30-year smoker, 2 packs a day, for big diehard smoker. And I said, well, how did you do that? And he said, well, I went to see Dr. Bill Stiles.
You went, who?
I said, who? And he said, I went to a hypnotist, Dr. Bill Stiles. And this was, he went to see you on March 1st, and this was like in either late April or early May when we were together. He says, I walked out of there and haven't touched a cigarette since. I says, well, do you want one? He goes, nope, I don't want one. And I started thinking, I says, well, here's a guy who is just as hard-headed as I am, and he went there and he had success. Maybe I ought to give it a shot. And I did, and it worked.
That's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. What would you tell people that are thinking about seeing Dr. Stiles?
I would tell them not to put it off. I would tell.
That's good.
I would tell them to go ahead and do it. Put whatever questions or fears or anxieties you may have aside, and just go ahead and go do it. I mean, you'd be amazed at the change in not only in your lifestyle, your eating style, but your thought processes in very, very many ways. You talked about enjoying food. I could never eat a Brussels sprout, and I can't get enough of them today.
Really?
That's me and celery.
I still have trouble with Brussels sprouts.
I love asparagus. I was the same way. I couldn't get a piece of asparagus past my nose, and now my daughter and wife make roasted asparagus, and I just can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
It's just amazing because I could never eat those foods before.
So what you're telling them is, call and make it the first day of the rest of your life. Is what you're doing.
Don't put it off. You're going to think about it. You're going to call in there. They're going to ask you questions. You're going to go, oh boy, I'm hesitant about this. Does this work? Is this some other type of money-making opportunity? But I'm going to say don't put it off, because those who put it off are the ones who are just, they're going to be always wanting to do it. Everybody's going to, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. They're going to always want. They're going to be, the doers. They're going to be the wishers or the dreamers, and never the doers. That's
right.
That's the ones. And there's been quite a few people who I've mentioned you to who have come to see you and have had success. So there's even more folks out there. In fact, even just past this Friday, as I mentioned to you, a bunch of people out there.
Who were they?
My 2 of my sister-in-laws and my one brother-in-law and their friend. They came to you for smoking.
Wait a minute. Are those the three hotties and Paul?
Three hotties and Paul. That's right.
That's what they were. They're attractive young ladies, and then there was this guy there who was a husband of one.
Husband of the one. Yes.
They all stopped smoking.
That's right. And I kept telling them. Every time I'd see him, they'd say, "Wow, you lost weight. You're still keeping the weight off." Yep. And the other brother-in-law, Jim, still isn't smoking.
How long ago was that?
Well, he went. It would have been. He would have been 2 years this March because he came to you March before I came to you in June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why put it off? What have you got to lose? If you go out there and it doesn't work, what have you lost? You haven't really lost anything. You're just where you were before. But you got a probably an 80 or 90% chance it's not going to be that way.
Tony, this is a fantastic testimony. Now, I want you to tell the folks whether or not I prepped you for this at all to come in here and talk on this radio program.
No, not at all. No,
Okay.
just a phone call from Pat asked me if I'd be willing to do it.
Right.
I said yes, I would, and here I am.
Okay. And folks, we're going to have many other guests on the program, but Tony's success is phenomenal, and I happen to know that he went from pure skepticism to cooperation to total success. And that's how he sits here right now. Well, we have just a few more words from Tony coming up, but I want to have you listen to some other people. Tony can take his breath here, and I've got like Jan and Margie and Maria and another fella that lost 53 pounds. So we're going to listen to them right now, then we'll come back to Tony and Stacy.
Hi, Dr. Stiles. This is Jan. Just wanted to let you know 3 weeks have gone by, and I'm pleased to tell you I've lost 25 pounds. I won't say it's always been easy, although most of the time it has been, but I always find the strength to resist. I've eaten more fish and seafood in the last 3 weeks than I think I have in my whole life, and I forgot just how much I enjoy it. Believe it or not, I went to 2 parties and enjoyed myself without eating all kinds of junk before dinner and no dessert. That in itself is a miracle. By the way, in case I didn't mention it, I'm down 2 sizes, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Hi, Dr. Stiles. This is Margie Towers. I'm just calling to let you know about my progress so far. I came to see you September 4th. As of today, I've lost 45 pounds. I went from a size 24 to a size 16, which I'm liking immensely.
My name is Maria Zarad, and I came in for the weight loss hypnosis on April 13th. So it's been 4 weeks, and I've lost my 12 pounds, and I'm thrilled. I can actually say no to candy now, most of the time anyway. The rest of the time I just keep it away from me. You told us to call back, so that's what I did.
I weighed in today, and to this point I've lost 53 pounds. I find myself with incredible willpower and just not wanting to eat what were the problem foods in my life in the past.
Wow. Okay. I forget these folks. I have these testimonies in my office. In fact, right now, since we started collecting testimonies, I've got over 2,000. I mean, it's amazing. But I'll tell you what, Tony, I'm going to ask you to sum up everything that you've experienced. I don't know what you've experienced since you left my office. And it's been many, many months. And just from memory, off the top of your head, could you tell the folks out there what your experience has been after you lost the weight? I mean, how do you feel physically? How do you feel mentally? How do you feel about this method of hypnosis to do this? All of that stuff. So as I shut up, would you please talk to the folks?
Well, I feel wonderful. I look better. I have established new goals because now I lost 92 pounds, which was one of my original goals when I came to see you. Now my new goal is to lose another 35 pounds. I want to get down. I'm going to get down to around 200, 210, 215.
Okay.
So, excuse me.
That's all right.
So I find myself doing that now. See, I feel so good now. What if I did this?
Yeah.
What if I pushed it and tweaked it a little bit further? So it's been a complete change in my life as far as my ability to even go anywhere with my family. I mean, if they were going someplace before, I was always one lagging behind because I'm huffing and I was puffing and I couldn't keep up with just simple walking through malls or parks or anything. So now I am there. I keep up with them, and it's just been a really, really, really wonderful awakening. Everybody who knows me can't believe what I look like versus what I've looked like before. In fact, when I started physical therapy for my knee, Friday, that guy hadn't seen me since I had seen you, and he said, "Are you the same?" He asked me if I was the same Tony Fontana that had been there for physical therapy 4 years ago. I said, "Yeah, that's me." I said, "Yeah, Tom, it is me."
Yeah, wow.
He goes, "Wow, you look totally different." I
You
said,
look totally different, right.
He said, "How'd you do it?" I said, "I went to a hypnotist, Dr. Bill Stiles." He goes, "Really?" He says, "That works." I says, "Yes."
100% for you, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people say they will, when they are introduced to me, say, "Oh, you do hypnosis." But one of the first questions out of their mind is, "Does that really work?"
And the answer I gave him is yes. And I think the reason your program is so successful and works is because you do it on a more personal, individual basis instead of a mass or group type of a thing. If that makes sense. But that's why I think it's so successful for the people, because you actually are trying to get into the subconscious of just a few folks, not 150 folks or something like that.
Okay.
Or whatever it is. But then anyway, that's why I think your program is so successful. I'm glad to have met you, and I'm glad to be here to be part of your show.
Well, thank you, and we really, really appreciate it. And I know folks are listening, and they have some of the same questions. Does it work? What's it all about? And maybe they don't know anybody that's been successful. Now they do. And I just encourage folks to go to the website, drbillstiles.com. That's DR for doctor, and Stiles is spelled with an I, not a Y. drbillstiles.com. And we have a telephone number, too, if you want to call, 724-940-2211. And we're going to close out with just a couple of more testimonies.
Hi, Dr. Stiles. This is Maria Moya. It's been 16 months since I've came to see you, and I just wanted you to know I lost 70 pounds. I don't know what you did, what you said, whatever you did, it worked. My self-esteem is so much better. I feel great. I've never felt so good. And I also want to let you know that my husband hasn't smoked in 11 months. And he has smoked 3 packs of Pall Mall for 45 years. In one visit with you, he hasn't picked up a cigarette. And that's a miracle in itself. So whatever you're doing, you do it right and keep on doing it. Thanks, and have a nice day.
Dr. Stiles, this is Peggy Purse calling, and I'm calling to thank you. I had my hypnotherapy session with you on August the 19th, and I've lost 90 pounds. I have more energy, and I just feel great. I had a knee replacement in November, and I'm sure that my weight loss is partially responsible for my quick recovery. After seeing the results of my session with you, both my daughter-in-law and my son have been to see you, and I'm happy to say that they're both doing well on the program. Everything you told me is true. I'm not hungry, and I have no cravings. God bless you, Dr. Stiles, for helping me.
Okay, Dr. Bill Stiles, call me, 724-940-2211.